This is the BlackSwarm podcast, baby. We're raw. And welcome to a McKinley Week special and nicest episode yet of the BlackSwarm podcast. Hank Pifer here with Rob Antonell. And tonight we got a very special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, my father himself, Midge Pifer. How we doing tonight, fellas?
Hey, man. This we waited for the last 9 weeks.
Yes, sir. McKinley Week.
Yes, sir. So before we get into McKinley Week, we didn't have an official game last week, but we did have a little JV showcase against Canada. I think we all caught a little bit of it, so just real quick recap. What do we think of the game?
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
You were there.
I didn't watch it.
Not a lick?
No. I mean, I was there. I was in the background. I mean, their offense didn't do anything against us. We went down, scored some touchdowns. Somebody had a really nice diving one-handed catch. Love to shout him out, but I don't know who it was.
Good enough. Dad, what do you got?
Well, you sent me that, whatever that was on my phone to stream it.
Yep. Couldn't make it to the game.
I put it right there by the computer and sat there and watched the whole game.
Any thoughts? I mean, getting to see at the end of the day, it's just a JV game, but still getting to see some future
you know
Tigers.
what? I probably wish I would have went.
Yeah?
Well, I got the program out, and it just felt so good doing all that, and I like looking. It's just like the first, second game of the year. You know, you just got to get the kids' names to the numbers and see who's good, who isn't, and you know, usually it's.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Just get into it, you know.
Week 9, just like week 1 all over again, trying to learn who these kids are. I'm in sideliners, and my kid, Junior, Steve Hogan, it was cool getting him to see some playing time out there. I felt like, I imagine that's what a parent feels like. I wasn't so much watching the game as I was just like watching him play when he was out there. Other than that, I mean, yeah, Canada, they didn't look like they wanted to be there at all, much less play the sport of football. And kids look good, 35-8. I don't have much else to say about that.
Okay.
So yeah, McKinley Week's here, baby. First real home McKinley game since 2018. We talked about that before, but coming out of the COVID stuff, it feels like a real season again. I think pretty much all the restrictions are gone. It's finally here, especially after missing last year's McKinley. It's finally here. It's Christmas time.
Yeah, I mean, today is, as we're recording, it's Sunday. So, first day of getting into the McKinley Week. And, it's just going to keep building upon itself throughout the week, the more and more activities that go on. But I'm excited for it. I'm trying to keep myself from getting overstimulated too early in the week. We've been thinking about it all last week as well. So, one day at a time. But, yeah, it's finally here.
Well, you wasn't the only one thinking that, I mean, it was just. Did you ever have, what was your worst nightmare? Was it, fictional?
Yeah.
Something close to being real? But, when you're having it, it's in color. Did you ever have anything like that?
Yeah, probably something close to, just straight out of a horror movie, but.
Okay.
In the
Rob?
dream, it feels real.
Horror movie?
I guess so. I mean, not like one specific thing, but like a recurring concept, I guess.
That recurring. See, I get this about once every 10 years. And I don't know why, but I start dreaming. Masson's all lit up. It's 2 o'clock. Kickoff just started. And it's my senior year. And I'm stuck in traffic. And it was just like, you can watch the seconds tick. And you know you got to be there. And you ain't. And and you ain't got no excuse. I'm always late for everything, so here we go. And it was like unbelievable, man. I wake up in the third quarter, and I'm not even there. I'm climbing a tree to see if I can see over the stadium and shit, and sweating. And then when you wake up, your bed's soaked. You didn't piss it, but your bed's soaked, and it's just like you get the biggest smile because it was only a dream.
I actually did have a dream like that before. Like, you're sitting in the stands watching the game, and it's like, oh shit, like I need to be out there. Oh God, where's my shoulder pads? Where's my helmet? Where's this? Where's that?
Well, that's the same thing.
And then, at least for me, wake up like, well, I would have been on the sidelines anyway. So,
I guess like my closest thing to that, this does happen if I'm thinking about like football a lot, like before I go to sleep, or there's something big going on, like this would be the week that it would happen. I'll have a dream that I'm playing again, and like I'm super comfortable out there, like getting ready for everything. Then I'll go out like to run a play, and they'll say the play, and I'm like, I don't know that play, or it's like I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, and I start asking everybody around, and then it hits me that I don't know any of the plays, because it's a dream. It's my first day. Yeah, it's like
what do I do? What do I do?
Really though, it's like I'm super comfortable. I feel like like the same mindset I'd have now if I'm going out and playing like some recreational game, like just not nervous at all, ready to go. And then they say a play, and I'm like, huh? Oh yeah, I don't know any of the plays. This is gonna be weird. All right, well, what do I do?
Let's go figure it out.
But that does happen to me every now and then. I'll go out there to play some football, and I don't know any of the plays because it's my first day.
Yeah, that's just it's this time of year. We got Maslin on the brain, baby. You've been doing this for a long time, Dad. Is it still that same excitement every year? Does it ever wane off, or is it just like it rolls around year after year and it's Christmas? It's ready to go.
What does my face look like?
Well, for those of us listening, he looked like I just asked the dumbest question in the world, which kind of was my point. Wanted to tee him up a little bit, see if he had anything to say to it. But
it's the same thing every year. You get pumped up for these kids, and and now they went 9 weeks. Now they're men, especially the seniors. That's I don't know how anybody else and how they play or whatever, but my junior year wasn't nothing like my senior year. Coming back, you beat them. When you was a sophomore, and I was on the sophomore team, had nothing to do with the varsity. But then you play your junior year, you go over there and get your ass kicked 21 to nothing. And then, now coming into your senior year, how bad it was your junior year. Hell, I didn't even go to school the next day, which was been that Monday. We all wrote the names down. I called them up and said, hey, we ain't coming in. We was embarrassed. But, then your senior year, you go out and you're an underdog. Some people say 19. I think it was like 19 points the day of the game. We was the underdog. Beginning of the week, we was 27-point underdogs. And we didn't even look at that. Also, we knew we had that first-year coach, and all he said was, well, guys, I never been here, and this ain't been the best season, so you guys are on your own. I'll teach you the plays.
That's what he said to you?
That's what he said to all of us.
Jesus.
And we get the captains up there. We're going to do this. And it was a wild week of practice. Fights broke out, name calling. It was different. But then when we came into Saturday, it was like a whole different ball game. We're ready to go. Bam, bam, bam. We get the opening kickoff. 3 plays later, we fumbled the ball on our 34. Well, if you remember, I think that's where the game ended up, where we threw the bomb to win it on the 34. So, it was just one of those... Damn, I'm starting to sweat. Let me get a sip of this beer. Yeah. I feel the same I do every year. Not like that, but I feel the same every year for these kids. Because this is when they turn into men. That's what I'm trying to say. You get through a McKinley game. That's... you're a man. You're nothing else. I mean, it's if you didn't get to play, or if you did, it's being ready, and that was the whole thing. If you're there and ready to go, that's what it's all about. You're getting yourself psyched up, and if a call comes, you're there. So, damn, my nipples are hard. Okay.
So, senior year, going into it, I know we talked about it a lot. Y'all had big expectations for the team, return a lot of guys. Injuries happen, new coach, shit goes south in the worst way possible. Come into the McKinley game 5-4. Junior year,
I thought we agreed not to say no records.
It helps the story.
Yeah, just building the story. Your junior year, you guys came in 9-0 or 8-1?
8-0-1.
8-1. So come into the game undefeated.
Yeah.
And you guys are favored, right? Like, you're supposed to blow them out of the water?
Yeah.
What were those 2 McKinley games like? The first one coming in as the favorite, the second one coming in as the odds-on underdog.
You know what? I don't think really it affects the kids. The coaches get you in a spot to where, hey, this is what I can do for you. This is all I'm teaching you. I hope you get it all. And then, bam, here's kickoff. And it's like everything started to fall apart. We had this still haunts me to this day about we had a safety and now we got to punt to him. Well, when you punt, isn't that similar to a kickoff? After it goes 10 yards, it's a free ball.
I think that operation after the safety's about that, yeah.
Okay. Well, we was taught never pick up a dead ball. Because if it ain't dead yet, they don't blow the whistle. You go to pick it up, you don't get it, you fumble it, they got access to the ball. And I'll never forget, I'm standing around, we're looking at the ball, and it's dead, and the referees look at us, and then blew the whistle. McKinley's ball right there. Any one of us could have picked it up and took off running, And just like that, and, like the safety, like the first play of the game was a power pitch pass. They intercepted it.
Yeah.
And you always get, they knew the first play. Yeah, right. It's if they did, so what? You still got to execute it, And it's just, damn, where was we at on that?
So coming in as the favorites versus the underdogs.
Okay, now coming in as the favorites, we didn't let that bother us at all. That was one of those things that where, who gives a shit, because we was the favorite the year before, and here these guys come in, they're undefeated. I think they're number 2 in the country, number 1 in the state. And they was 9-0, and they was whooping everybody, and they had a good team. And at the end, when we beat them, their captains came in our locker room and congratulated us. There'd have been no way in hell I would have ever been one of them guys. Never. I don't like red anyhow, so. But, you know, I think these kids, that's why I said, my junior year, I was like a boy. I'm not going to school because we got beat. And then my senior year, we had these T-shirts somebody made up. Let's go home. So we went home again after the rally. But yeah, it was your senior year. You gotta. Your senior year, I think you're different than you are any other time. Mm-hmm. You know, but
been there, done that, kind of know how to handle it a little better.
Yeah, because this is your last crack at them, you know, and it's you got to be ready to go, and by having, you know, I don't know what the coaches do; they do whatever they want, you know. But if it was me, I'd have been practicing for 2 weeks for McKinley.
That actually leads me into my next question. Wanted to talk about this a little bit. It's been a talking point on here the last couple weeks about the bye week, and you know, having the JV kids play for Canada against Canada, but basically you got 2 weeks going into McKinley with a bye before that for the varsity. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that? Would you have liked that as a player? As a fan, as if you were coaching it, you know, what's your opinion on the bye going into McKinley week?
I like the idea about the reserves playing, but the thing always was, you know, if you're going to play on Friday night and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? That's what I think it is. But, you know, the thing that bothered me on this streaming, there's nobody in the stands.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was like, these kids get to play. I don't even know what the home side looked like. I didn't see no cameras, you know, showing the home side. But, hey, you know what? It's Massillon football.
Massillon football.
Yep.
Robbie, got anything? Look like you're pondering something over there.
No, not necessarily. I mean, we talked about how having that bye week, you know, good or bad. I think we've all been under the consensus of having a regular game would have been better. But yeah, I mean, it's cool for the JVs to get a night under the lights on a Friday. It probably just feels a little bit different. They have the tunnel going, they had the band going, all of that. So it felt like a real game. It wasn't a huge crowd, which is kind of expected for it. But, I mean, I guess if you're not going to have a varsity game, like, you might as well have the JVs get that experience, you know. So probably a cool little experience for that. But, yeah, I mean, you probably could have had that with a lesser opponent almost anyway. But, you know, good for them to go out there and work through top to bottom of the roster and get some more kids out there, some visibility on a Friday night. And they did stream it, so if you weren't able to go, you could watch it. You know, relatives, people out of state could watch it. So that's a cool aspect. But, yeah, you got to get everybody, you know, back into gear now for McKinley week.
You know, when back in the All-American Conference, you had Warren, Niles, Steubenville, McKinley, Alliance. You had teams, and we always played Alliance in the 9th week. And when the 9th week came, no matter how good Massillon was, Alliance gave us the better game of the 9-week schedule. And after that, it don't make no difference. It was the 70 team, the 71 team. Alliance always gave us the better game. And Alliance, their record was always like 1-9. I don't even think I ever saw 2-7 or 2-8, you know. But the thing was with that, it's, I think all the coaches, they always look around the corner, and we can get a couple extra days practicing against McKinley in that 9th week. So, and I think it does help. It really does, because you need them extra days. I mean, it's all dependent on how smart your team is, how good they are, and how they can take stuff quick or whatever. But I seen Massillon play big games on their 9th game, and these kids play their ass off for that McKinley game, because they're out there and you get beat up the week before. You're not going to be the same that 10th week. I don't care. I seen it, and it's boy. I just, these kids that go through it, like I said, they're men. When they get in a situation, you play that McKinley game, you're a man. So that's about all I can say.
Yeah, I think it was 2017 after the 13-7 punt fest against St. V. It seemed like kind of an unsaid understanding that we're gonna take it a little bit easier week 9, and I think that has shown and helped out, because 2015 is the last time we lost to McKinley. 2016 and on, Massillon's won.
2015.
Yeah,
that was the helicopter play, wasn't it?
Yeah, last game in Fawcett Stadium.
Wow.
Have you seen any kind of dominant stretch like this by either side in all the years you've been watching, playing?
You hear shit talking that they wish they was like that, but it's not. No, and it's I remember back in '76, we had a couple McKinley players playing on our flag football team. And I'll never forget. One would say, "You'll never beat us again, because we're going to join all the schools together. And we're going to kick your ass inside and out every year." And it's like, you know what? Make sure you're at that game, because I'll be there. Come looking for me. I'll be on the 44-yard line, row F. It don't make no difference. Just come on. I'll be right there. I'll save you a seat. Well, I never seen one of them guys ever come over and sit down, because we beat them in a couple games in a row. And the games we lost, I think it might be like a 7-3. They was close games. But, nah. You're Canton.
Yeah. This year's McKinley team, come out of the gate rough, I think would be a kind word for it. 0-4, but they've been on a heater since. 5-0. Ran through the second half of their schedule. The Fed.
What was the old saying? They didn't play nobody.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hey, we said it one year. I'll never forget that.
What year was that?
I know it was over there. I think it was 2005. We was 9-0 going into the 10th game. They was 9-0 going into the 10th game. The question came up was, Massillon beat St. Ignatius that year, and a couple other teams, but they was undefeated. But McKinley didn't play nobody. So the big thing was, McKinley didn't play nobody. That's why they're undefeated. So I'll never forget leaving the stadium. I'm walking up one of these alleys with a bunch of Massillon people. Here come these three brothers from McKinley jogging. And they see all these Massillon people leaving the game. We all got our mouths shut, our heads down, and walking up the alley. And all of a sudden, these three brothers are jogging. And they go, "Yeah, we still ain't played nobody." And then all of a sudden, I look over. I see this one kid starting to make a move like, hey, watch your mouth or whatever it was. And the dad grabbed him on his shoulder and says, hey, this is theirs. They earned this. We'll see him again. And we did. We saw him again and beat him. But that sticks out in my mind. And Mr. Tom Rivera, I remember that one.
I got a similar story, Rob. You and I talked about this off air last week. 2015, right after the helicopter touchdown, sitting over, everybody's all on the same side because they tore down the away side stands already. And this older guy, just pissed drunk, is going up and down the Massillon side, yelling, TIG, TIG, just being an asshole. I'm like, all right, you want to play? We're going to play. I start yelling back at him, ERS. And he hears me, sees me, and we start screaming back and forth. He walks over, he starts getting up in my face, and I'm in his, and we're yelling back and forth, TIG, ERS, and all this. And, I'm not going to make him move first, but I'm ready if he does. And a couple of guys come over and collect him and walk his ass away. And I look up, and all I see, and the only guy standing up, just looking down, beaming at us, is you. You're like 10 rows up, standing up, watch the whole thing. I don't even know if you remember this or not, but I'm like,
McKinley game?
Yep.
Nope.
That answers that. I'm like, damn. Well, so.
Yeah, Rob, do you have any?
Not anything like that. No. There was a security guard at McKinley that I got into a little thing with, but that same game.
2005, huh?
2015.
Oh, I was talking about 2005.
No, that story's from 15. Last game of Boston.
Okay.
I was walking to like the concession stand, or I ran back out to one of our vehicles. We had an extra ticket that hasn't been used yet, so I could get back in. And I ran into somebody I know that I haven't seen in a while, right above the end zone, because that's the only place we could sit, really. And I was just talking to a buddy, and the security guard, these hired help, because that's all they have over in Canton, is they got to outsource everything. They don't have volunteers for anything. So some security guard just comes over. He's like, hey, you guys can't stand here. And I was looking at him. I was like, what? He's like, you can't stand here. Go find a seat. And I'm like, there's literally 60 people standing around, leaning up against the rail, watching the game from up there on that, it's not a pavilion, but large walkway. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, why can't I stand here? Everybody else is standing here. Like, what's your problem? Like, he came out of his way to walk up and say that to me. And it was like all Massillon people too, so it wasn't like he singled me out for being I don't know what his issue was, but I got into it with him. Went to get something out of the car, came back, and I was like, all right, cooler heads. Went to say something to him, and he's just like actively looking away from me as I'm talking to him, and I was just like, yeah, so I let him have a few choice words, and I went back to my seat. But that's about the closest thing that I have to a story like that. But yeah, it's amazing that they get these big games and the state championship games when the Hall of Fame doesn't want them, for starters, and they have nobody to run anything over there. They have to hire volunteers that don't know what they're doing, or Massillon has to send people over there to help them. Back when the state championships used to be half here, half at Fawcett, Massillon people would work the games here and then drive over to Canton, work the games there, come back and forth, because Canton they don't have the people to do it. They don't have enough people over there, so that's like these Massillon McKinley games. They get these random people. I remember the first year when it was Benson, we go over there, and they had all those issues because they printed tickets that don't exist, so people were trying to find their seats that there are no seats. It's like, where's section 5, LL? And they're like, oh, yeah, that literally doesn't exist. There is no. He's like, well, I'm holding a ticket that says it does. But you're trying to ask people where to sit. They have no clue because it's their first time ever being in the stadium. They're like, oh, yeah, we usually do stuff at Blossom. Or stuff. Like, we do security at Blossom. It's like, why are you here? Like, they don't have anybody to help. So, It's just a mess over there, and that's kind of like what Canton City is in general. So it's a mess.
It tracks. Well, that's why we don't go east to Kmart.
Yep.
Storage unit now, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm still going to call it Kmart. That quote's...
It's a landmark.
Nothing's better than that quote.
Yeah.
So,
I went by it today.
yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Had to go do a job over in Canton, over by Lobies.
Yep.
And I says I got a busy schedule all week. So if something could happen, it could be tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I can come over and give you a hand. Well, that tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock happened, and it was Sunday morning, and next thing I know, I passed his wife pulling out of the garage and closing the garage back, and here he was still in bed that I never got to do the job.
Yeah.
Turned around and left, you know.
That's why we don't go east to Kmart.
That's it. We all need to make money.
Damn right.
But
I guess with that, we don't have any film from last week's game to check out. We got another episode coming up later in the week with a special guest that will, preview this year's McKinley game. We could still look back, watch some highlights from last year's game. Just some quick thoughts on it. I know it was a year ago. I got to watch that from the desert, but I thought it was pretty exciting. First half, it didn't seem like we could do much. I think we went into halftime losing the game. Come out and where we re-debuted the McElroy empty formations and ran that down their throat. Didn't seem like they were prepared for it. Couldn't stop it. And
at the end of the second quarter, it was looking like, okay, we're done playing around, and everybody started communicating, I think, a little bit better as a team. It's hard to see that, but because I had guys standing in my way, and I had this lady in front of me in a wheelchair, and they'd stand in front of her, and I have to go up and tell them they got to move, and and I didn't even know it, but it was Thayer Mumford's mom in the wheelchair, and I thought all she had to do was stand up. And everybody would have moved. She's big mom, man. Good lady though. So, but it was, you can see like the Tigers getting a little bit more enthusiasm. They was getting a little bit more fired up toward the end of the first quarter or first half. And to me, I could see a change coming. And you know what? It was like, just sit back, watch the game. Don't tell nobody what you're thinking because they don't want to hear it, But man, when you see something like that changing, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that it was close to start with last year. You know how my memory is with past games. But like what I remember from that game was just, I remember the ending of it. About, I had to sit on, I was sitting on the home side, I guess. And there weren't a whole lot of Massillon people that I was around, but and just like by the end of the game, the stands were just drained. There was nobody left. Their whole fan base left. Like it wasn't competitive anymore. So like that was what I remember. I kind of forgot that it was close there to start, but yeah, definitely didn't feel that way at the end. When there's equal parts Massillon fans and McKinley fans on the home side. So yeah, that's kind of what I remember of it. It wasn't that close, memorable of a game.
No, it was. That was. I remember I'm sitting in the desert. I'm doing the math because we're like 7 hours ahead, and I didn't watch any games up between leaving and the McKinley game. I hadn't really kept track of it because kickoffs at like 3 a.m. my time. I get off work at midnight, try and be in bed by 1 or 2 to be up at like 10 to go to work, and I told I was working that day. I told my shift, I'm like, listen, I got this game. Y'all aren't going to understand it. It's high school football. You can look at me funny all you want. But this is the biggest rivalry in American sports. Period. Dot blank. I am.
Good way to put that.
I'm sitting my happy ass in our break room. I'm putting a different stream on every TV in there. I'm setting up my laptop with another stream just to cover all the bases. And I'm watching this game. Y'all are more than welcome to come join me. No worse going on. But these next 3 hours, I'm busy. And it sucked not being there, but it was that little taste of home I needed. And it was a good game, man. Like start first half real competitive, second half we kind of ran away with it, but it got me jacked up again. And I guess I say all that to say, hey, let's watch some film of it, kind of relive it a little bit, and get jacked up for this week, because this week's here and now.
See, your problem was when you get all jacked up like that, it ain't fun when you're by yourself,
Yeah.
It's nice to have somebody with you and, get fired up. Only takes one more. That's all. But, it's... You got that tiger blood in you, and, when something like that happens, yeah, you feel good, and I need another beer.
All right, so getting into a little film room action, just some highlights from last year's McKinley game. I figure since we got former Tiger here, number 44, it's only right we start with Nathan DePuy.
I was going to say Depew.
Depew. Horrible names. But
It's
Nathan Depew.
It's where you kneel at church, down south.
Yeah. Depew.
In Depew.
Tough kid.
Also, number 44.
He was a tough kid.
So, without further ado, let's check her out.
Too bad that doesn't carry over to Taki for the Browns.
Now, without further ado, let's check her out. Just a little counter action. Just good job slicing through backside gap.
Is there a fumble?
Yeah.
You went right to it.
Looked like fumble on the handoff, but just backside of a counter. And
that was just a drop ball, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know why? See that lump on the back of his hamstring? That's a piece of shit.
All right, you're not saying he's shitting down his leg, are you?
Yeah.
Looked like the quarterback short-armed it, too.
That was their backup quarterback.
Yeah, put it out there for him.
Let the kid go get the ball.
Still, it was there.
And, I mean, you could definitely grab that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, hole was there, and kid doesn't fumble it. That might be a big play.
Corner was taking that out. Taking a kneecap out. 21's going to come in right around 52 and wham! Kneecap.
Fair enough.
It was happening.
Now a little inside zone
Who was
action,
21
I think.
last year? What was that receiver's name?
Lennox. Was that Freddie Lennox?
That was a wide receiver.
I almost said Lamp.
Yes.
But now that's a year behind, right?
Yeah. No, Lamp had already graduated.
Lamp
was 21, but he graduated
he was already
in
gone.
21, so the
Well, last year was 21.
21 season.
Oh, 21. Okay. All right.
Well, we got MadisonTiger.com for this. I mean, might as well. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
So let's see here.
Yeah, Jim, pull that up for us real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jim's not here.
Thanks, Jim. Season by decade. 2020.
Who's this 79 and 72?
Well,
Big boys.
79 was the left guard on the first play. Now he's the right guard. But I think he could be both guards.
Are they back?
Let me see. So 79,
Yeah, they
72.
both moved over.
So they just swap sides.
So B's still
so
doing
wherever
that.
they go, that's where the ball's
Strong
going.
side, quick side.
So we actually did that my senior year when Coach B came here.
I wonder which side's the
And he
big
was
side.
the OC at Masson. We had a strong side and a quick side. The quick side, they were always the pullers. The strong side, they were always the down blockers, or you could run inside zone right at them. Real good on the double teams. Real good on just crashing down on the line of scrimmage there.
Which one do you think is the quick side?
Not 79.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I doubt 79 is too quick out of a pull.
Left tackle doesn't look like he'd move very well out of that stance either. So
let's see, seasons by decade, 2020.
I mean, that right guard looks like he's already pulling.
10?
Watkins.
Outside linebacker.
Does that sound right?
That sounds right.
Nate Watkins,
'Cause
maybe.
This year it's is it Welch?
Liebler.
Liebs.
Liebler's 10.
Yeah. Okay. Junior.
Yep.
Yes.
Good ball player.
Junior captain. Well, he's a
good
captain
ball player.
and a junior.
Tough.
Okay, we're finally getting there, folks. What do we say, 21? Start with 21. That was Jaden Welch, starting corner for us this year. And, number 10 was Nate Watkins.
Yeah.
So Welch was a sophomore then?
Junior.
He's a senior now.
Yeah.
Welch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a senior
He's
this
like
year.
one of the only 3 starting seniors on the team this year.
Yeah, that right guard was pulling before the snap even happened.
That's how you're the quick side.
This time they're not pulling, are they? We
just
just
a little
watched
inside
this.
zone action.
Yeah.
Just we stuff it immediately.
Ooh. Is this a highlight film of number 44?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Depew?
Yep. So it just gets. I mean, look at Big Mike in there. He's already in the backfield before the snap.
As a sophomore.
As a freshman.
Freshman. Yeah. Just tossing centers.
Yep. Here we got a little trap on the end, it looks like.
Was that 75 trying to hold him?
Yeah, go back to that one.
Depew just slips underneath the... Yep.
It's a good thing that guard is wearing gloves. Because, man, does he give away his pull versus... I mean, he's already going.
Yeah. Just strong fullback run right there. Mike Allstott, a Billy Harmon-like run, if you will. A great former Massillon fullback. Guy my dad played with when he was, a junior when you were a senior?
Yeah. Yeah. He, now his senior year, they're playing at Steubenville. Well, he made a couple nice runs, power runs, and like I said, I came from Fairmont with 5 other guys. I came to Fairmont with 5 other guys, and we all piled up in a van and let's go watch Massillon play. These guys were all from West Virginia, and they never saw Massillon play, so let's go. So we go up and watch Massillon play. I'll never forget when we're leaving, they're saying, we got to get him to come to Fairmont. I said, that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. But at halftime, he had 199 yards rushing. At halftime. And the coach never put him back in for the second half. So, there's not just records. That stuff could have happened. And, Billy was 234 pounds, and he was fast.
I mean, getting recruited by Paul Bear Bryant as a
freshman.
As a freshman?
As a freshman. Yeah. He came to Lorne Andrews to see Billy Harmon. So, I guess with that, we can get it moving right along to the next highlights we got queued up here. As one former undersized, super athletic, really fast white boy can watch and comment on another undersized, super athletic, fast white boy.
Sure, what do you want to know?
Absolutely not talking about you, Rob. Oh. Little Austin Brawley highlight action.
Boom.
Just He was a hell of a special teams player for us all.
Where did he go?
OU.
Oh, he did.
Oh, yeah.
Is he playing?
I think he's got a couple starts under his belt already.
Okay. Now, who was the other? Was he number 4?
Yeah.
Who was number 5?
Zenkovich.
Oh.
Ryan Zenkovich.
Did he go anywhere?
Not that I'm aware of.
He came on all of a sudden his senior year.
Mm-hmm.
Good. That was, hey.
So, this is something you did when you played, right?
What's that?
PAT, field goal block, coming off the edge.
Mm-hmm. I was off the other edge.
Is there any sort of trick to it, or is it just be faster than the kicking operation?
What's that?
Coming off the edge, blocking a kick.
See the outside, just say, look at the right side guy, the right end. Okay, watch his first step.
It's inside.
You see how he goes inside? You're shooting for that chest, okay? And as that chest moves, now if he's a stud, you can't shoot for that chest. But you go through that whole outside shoulder. You run right through there and see where he's blocking this. You want to be about 2 yards in front of the holder. See where he's at?
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty close right there. And that's like the quickest point where the ball starts to come up is where you're going to hit it. And it don't make no difference where them arms are at. Just get them out ahead of you, and
need speed off the edge, know how to play it, and kid just makes a hell of a play.
But you got to be quick. That's the only thing right there, when you're in that spot. You just got to be quick, and that's the guy right there. It's
next up.
Now Brawley was 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
So next up, another job you handled when you played, punt return.
Punt returns. We always had 2 people back.
Always played 2?
2. And it helped so much that the first guy down there is your first problem.
Mm-hmm.
But you get the punt. You just got to worry about that first guy. And they always said step forward when you come up. See how he's going sideways? See how he got the ball and step forward? You catch it, you go forward. So you go inside the outside guy, and then your back is blocking the next person. And you go straight to the sidelines and go up it. That's
makes a hell of a play on a little one dribble knuckleballer.
Oh boy. Look at that.
What'd you say? Inside the outside guy?
Inside
get up the sideline?
outside guy. That first guy. There you go. Inside. Go out to the
Woo!
Get out to the sidelines.
40 making a hell of a block there.
I didn't see it. 40, where you at?
You'll see him, right? Bam.
All right. Get up, boy.
So they're going to run right past him here. Twack. It's
keep
going to
running. 40,
Yeah.
You got to keep running. Go get somebody else,
just to the right of Brawley. Kid gets decleated.
Yep.
Makes up the sideline. And 6 just good job chasing him down. I mean, that's a hell of a play by him.
Was that a horse collar?
Look like it. I mean, when it comes down to it, if you're going to save 6 points, save 6 points wherever you can.
Yeah, there's nothing, It's a wonder they can catch him, though, because he's a fast guy,
So, next play, the rest of these, a little bit of safety play, come out in their heavy set. I appreciate how McKinley, they still put the fullback with his hand in the dirt. Modern spread offenses, it's like it's not something you see much anymore. It's just kind of a throwback look. Backside quarter safety can just cheat down, playing the run. Just looks like a little ISO action insert. Go get in the pile.
Boy, they're not even. They couldn't throw it.
From what I remember, their entire game plan was go heavy and run it down our throats.
Yeah, but once you get behind.
Yeah, they were ahead for a while.
Yeah.
Now just split out, operating pretty much one-on-one over the Twins on this heavy set. Just a little play action, double slant.
When it zooms out, can you stop it? Oh, okay. That's back here.
Yeah.
Now it's back this way. This is where. No.
We got Midge up close and personal with the TV, trying to point something out.
Yeah, I'm trying to show you where I'm at, where my seats were. But me and Thayer's mom.
Yeah.
We had a good game.
Good. All right. That's tough play. Just 10 yards off, playing a slant like that. Heavy personnel, entire box is playing run. Kid's not going to run that
Them
twice.
Guys are always hitting somebody.
Mm-hmm. Get up in there. Play gets stuffed, A lot of kids would just kind of back off, like, I don't need to get in that shit. No. Brawley wants his nose in the dirt. Here, a little empty set action.
Hold it. That's me.
So about the 45-yard line.
She's right there. Our seats were right here. I never even got to them. I just stood there the whole game.
So here we got a little spread defense versus spread offense. Over top of the trips up top of the screen, you got your Mike and your safety Brawley playing basically 2 over the number 3. The corner and Sam just kind of high.
So this man-to-man over here, huh?
Down low, I think they're still playing more or less quarters coverage over top.
Well, you got a linebacker on a wide receiver.
They traded off pretty good.
Yeah.
So this is an overthrow into a pick, I think.
Interception.
Yeah. Brawley being right place, right time. You can see the Mike linebacker and Brawley kind of playing number 3 on a string here. Quarterback overthrows him. Looks like he wanted to hit him, and Mike gets in his way. Our ball.
He hit right on. He hell with that. He just, I want to run you right over.
Gotta appreciate the guys that don't avoid contact like that.
This is like, I wish I would have saw this after the game. I'd enjoyed the game a little bit better.
Here we got, looks like a little inside zone. Just run up the middle with the bubble screen tagged up top. Quarterback, if he likes his numbers out wide, he can just throw the bubble. That's what he does. Tough assignment outside. The corner holds outside leverage, forces the ball back inside. Let's probably go make a play on it.
Let's go.
You look pre-snap like that. All that room that kid has to run. Brawley's got closing speed, man.
Boom.
So that's all we got for Brawley. Next up.
Oh, these are just highlights for these individuals.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So this is a little Freddie Lennox action. Like I said, I missed pretty much most of the second half of the season last year. Didn't really see him get much spot time after Tro went down. So this is the first game I really got to see him line up at running back. Here just looks like a little...
He had a good game.
Mm-hmm. A little power action up the middle. Takes a guy for a ride. Makes safety have to come up and tackle him. And
now, was he a junior that year?
Is he a senior?
Yes.
Last year.
Yeah, so he was a junior last year. I don't know. We have like 2 seniors on the team, dude.
He didn't play that much this year. He was hurt, right?
Yeah, got hurt in the Glen Oak game.
Yeah. But he had a good McKinley game.
Mm-hmm. So here, just a little counter action. All right. So on this, we got the right guard pulling to kick out the end on our right side of the screen.
That little guy.
Yeah. And then the fullback pulling around behind him lead up through the middle. Looks like McKinley tries to spill it, wrong arm it, make the run bounce outside where you want the hole to go. And they actually do a good job defending it. But Freddie just is a dude. Fakes outside.
Oh, he's seen 5 shooting over there.
You can watch 5, looks like the safety. Yeah, got 5, the safety over top. Baits him and the linebacker outside. Oh, and cuts it right back up inside.
That was a good play.
Right down the chute for 6. Here, same play, except he bounces it this time.
To the outside. And
just, looks like the run's kind of stuffed up there. Not much room for your average running back to make a play up the middle there. Bounces it. Pick up 8 yards. Here we got a little outside zone, just halfback stretch action. Safety screaming down, trying to make a play. Freddie says, "You ain't making that today."
'89's a big boy. Is he still playing that defensive end, or they move him?
I don't know if he's still starting or not. If he's still there.
Yeah.
Here it's going to be same play call, but different, different time in the game. Good job just stretching it out, finding some space, putting foot in the ground, getting upfield. And making that tackle pay for it, too. I get to see a couple highlights of him. Got a lot of corner action, too. So this play is going to be kind of similar, just an inside run with a couple bubble screens tagged. Quarterback decides to throw it to the bubble down at the bottom of the screen here.
Whew.
Freddie makes a pay. So what the number 1 receiver at the bottom of the screen... his assignment's like block the most dangerous man. Block the corner. If you see the corner bail, turn to look inside. And it looks like Freddie's first step, drops back, like he's dropping to a zone. So dude turns to look inside, block the linebacker. Freddie puts his foot in the ground and just comes screaming downhill. I think it's going to be the same play, just from the end zone angle.
They just don't look like a team.
Here, they just go heavy personnel, play action, max protect. You think you got a matchup because the corner's more or less playing one-on-one. Tries to throw fade ball. Presses him to the sideline. Quarterback really doesn't have much room to put the ball. Rob, any comments as a former corner yourself?
I'd like to know where the ball is. I can't see it, but I mean, stays on tight, so I mean, good coverage. Forces him outside, tougher throw for the quarterback, squeezes him. Yeah, it's a tough
Run
play.
him out of bounds.
Yeah. Receiver doesn't do much to help himself. He lets himself get squeezed to the sideline. I mean, I think like in general, I mean, his McKinley team wasn't great last year. And I think a lot of that's showing here, but yeah. I mean, it's good coverage, but receiver sets himself up for failure by allowing himself to get pushed to the sideline. And then, I mean, it's a really tough.
Who's playing him?
That's Lennox.
It's gonna be
Lennox?
Yeah, it's gonna be Lennox on there.
Okay.
These are Lennox's highlights currently, but I mean, I don't know. I just from as being a football fan, I want to see where the ball is, and I can't see it from here. But nonetheless, I mean, good coverage.
Look down at the smaller
A
screen.
little handsy, but yeah, good play.
There's your ball.
That was the same play.
Yeah, just sailed it.
I thought it might be going where the safety was running. I mean, like the combination. Yeah, I mean, the receiver's not even close. They're in different zip codes. I mean, yeah, it's just a horrible play. Quarterback's essentially just throwing it to a spot, and the receiver gets pushed to the sideline. I mean, that's just all around bad play on their part, but that's what happened at the end of the game. You know, McKinley showed that they're not a great team, and Madison stepped up. But, I mean, good job by Lennox. Squeeze him to the sideline. Don't give him a chance. Receiver's 3 yards out of bounds when the ball is hitting the turf, and it's like 20 yards away from the receiver. So, I don't know what.
Yeah.
It wasn't much of a threat there, but
Yeah.
by the corner, he did his job.
Yeah. So that's all we got for Lennox highlights. Now I just ripped a couple clips off YouTube of when we went to in the second half, when we got McElroy back involved in that empty personnel that up till that point, we got a couple snaps of it against Glen Oak and Warren, but it was in, double tight end, fullback, always using some jet sweep, kind of misdirection action. It was just kind of straight up single wing, take the snap, run the ball. A little more to it than that, but. So this is our first snap, second half of the game of the empty package. Can't really see it here, but 2x2, 4 wides with the fullback, McElroy playing quarterback again, and no running back in the backfield.
You know he's going to run it.
He's a slippery runner, man.
Wow. Ooh, late hit.
Just letting him know he's there.
Bad, yeah, that wasn't bad.
Good job just bouncing it, seeing the play's not really there. Real patient runner.
Is that Lennox number 21?
No, that was Welch.
He's still trying to block.
But I mean, it's a tough set to defend, especially when you haven't really scouted it ever. If you look, you got
7 guys right there.
You really only got 6 guys in the box, because 21 down here at the bottom's more worried about Campbell as a receiver than he is a blocker. So you got 6 guys in the box for 6 blockers.
Is that okay?
So he's more or less playing man coverage. It looked like when we went empty on him that their empty check was just cover 1. But, good job by their DN stuffing that kick out.
75 grabbed that dude and threw him down. Watch it, 75.
Down here at the bottom, left tackle. Yeesh.
10 yards from the spot.
So, actually, this play did get called back for holding, and I think that was it.
Bad football.
Yeah. Next play come out. This is the second play out of this stuff. You're, 1st and 20 now. Get a little rollout action.
Oh, he's going to throw it.
Mm-hmm. Some kind of... You can't see the concept. It's almost like the cameraman should zoom out a little bit. But that's neither here nor there.
It's way behind him.
And this is why Slaughter took over second half of the season. But still good to show that, it's not just, all right, McElroy, take the snap and run the ball. We can do a little something, make the defense have to defend every player on the field, not just stack the box and ignore receivers.
I thought it was a good how they put him back in there and gave him quite a bit of snaps,
Mm-hmm. So
for your senior year, that's what you want.
Next play, I like this one. This is so this is a couple plays later. We sub out of this package, put Slaughter and running back in the game. But for a couple plays, got some yardage, then go back to this set. And here you can see, watch the linebackers from McKinley specifically trying to communicate, not knowing exactly what to do here. They don't know how to get lined up, who's doing what, trying to get their checks in, just scrambling. Obviously, play gets stuffed. But
yeah, it's that the hole was not there. It was back on the left side, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we're just trying to run power right here. Hole's not there. McKinley, their front four, does a good job stuffing it.
Well, they got 3 people on that side.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's you can see McKinley doesn't know what they're doing. This is something more or less to them completely new. Never put this shit on film. Wait till after halftime to come out and do it. And they're scrambling. If we get that blocked up right up front, he's still running. So here, get a little bit closer down to the goal line. I like this, a little formation in the boundary.
Who's 40? Hathaway?
That was our fullback. Bring back fullbacks with a neck roll. 40 was Pateros?
That wasn't Hathaway?
No.
What number was Hathaway?
Hathaway was
42?
Let's see here. Not on this roster on
Could have been a year before.
the Maslin website. Might be a year before. But so here, just a little going formation in the boundary, putting your numbers into the sideline, not giving them much space, forces the defense. Do you want to defend the players over there, or do you want to defend the rest of the field out wide? Because all we got off the screen here, which if you could zoom out a little bit, you'd be able to see it, but also showcasing Campbell's versatility. Last few plays he was lined up out wide as a receiver. This one he's lined up tight as a second fullback. So good way to get to our double fullback sets without having to actually substitute guys. Just run a little power.
Okay, who was 48?
48.
That's...
Well, I missed him. That was Hathaway.
48.
Yeah.
Yeah. He came on strong toward the end of the year. Big blocker.
I think it was that neck roll. Puts that on. He's a whole new guy.
There you go.
So, yeah, you can see the backside safety here has to come up all the way on the left side of the screen, scream in, make a touchdown saving tackle. And immediate next play, same formation, except come back, hit a little counter action back to the left side. Waltz in for a touchdown. I'm a fan of saving stuff special for McKinley.
You better.
Because, it's a special occasion. And special occasions is special occasions.
Massillon's finest weekend.
And I say that because we'd be remiss if we didn't watch one more little highlight here. Starring the man, the myth, the legend himself.
God, you must want some money.
No, I ain't done this for a year and a half because I got my teeth fixed.
Well, we can't hear
Spent
it,
over
but it
$1,000
should be
getting my
coming
teeth
through
fixed.
on the desktop right now.
But special occasions are special occasions. It's my birthday
Can't believe I let
tomorrow,
somebody do that
same
to
day
my
the Mass
face.
McKinley game. Which
That's Stu's house
I'm
behind
off
it.
camp for my birthday
Yeah?
till Sunday because
So I spent
Mass
the-
McKinley Day is a
spent the
bigger day.
weekend.
So here you go, fellas.
So, were those cans back in the day easy to rip off?
No, I ain't done this for a year and a half because I got my teeth fixed.
You know, it's
Spent over
funny you say you
$1,000
can't
getting my
believe
teeth
you let
fixed.
somebody do that to your face.
But special occasions.
Because I think when we
are
found this
special
clip
occasions.
about 3-4 years ago,
My birthday tomorrow, same day the Mass McKinley
I said,
game.
yeah, well, when I'm
Which
that age, I guess I'll have to do
I'm
the
off
same
camp
thing.
for my birthday till Sunday because Mass
And it's
McKinley
about time
Day
to
is a
pay the
bigger day.
piper because I
here you
am
go,
the same
fellas.
age and currently as you are in this video.
Oh.
28 years old.
No, I ain't done this for a year and a half because I got my teeth fixed. Spent over $1,000
Wake
getting
'em.
my teeth fixed. But special
Our
occasions.
flag football team jackets.
I was wondering about that. Is that black or is that
It's black and orange.
gotcha. I always look watching on my phone. I always look kind of like a bluish tint.
Yeah,
That-
it was black and orange. Them are the ones that when we got done playing that year, we got beat up in Chicago. And we played 3 games. You lose 2, you're gone. Well, we played 3, and we was done.
Yeah.
So I was downtown, sitting there drinking by myself, and then I seen Stu come in. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just sitting here by myself, you know." And I never go to this bar. It was like a Tiger Town or whatever it was, but it was downtown. So we had a couple drinks, and then all of a sudden it was like, you know what? We went for a walk. So we walked up to the top of the viaduct, took our jackets off, and threw them in the river. And then we ran to the other side because when we threw our jackets in, the wind kind of sucked them underneath the bridge. So we went on the other side of the bridge, on the other side of the road, and we watched the jackets floating down the river. And that's what we always did. When we did this, that was our jackets floating down the river. And the next year, the flag team bought us new jackets. And says, "If you throw these in the river again, you're not getting no more." Well, that was fine. But yeah, that one went floating down the river. And that was Stu was singing the one something about down the mighty Tusk to the Ohio to the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. He had some song he had with them words in it, and and then we did this, the offset jackets, you know. But
Yeah.
a lot of weights in that garage back there. That's where the torture chamber originally was.
The original torture chamber,
Right back there
where
on Earl Street.
Spielman learned how to lift, right?
Yep. When Spillman was a sophomore, I think they got beat by St. Vincent's, and he's throwing rocks at Stu's bedroom. And Stu, what the hell's going on? Who's throwing rocks at my... Open up the window. What's going on? He says, "This is Chris." He says, "Yeah?" He says, "I want to lift." Stu says, "Go home. I'll show you tomorrow." And he wanted to... And Stu wouldn't let him in.
Yeah.
He wanted since they lost the game, that was the first game he ever lost, and so that was one of them things that, that's where I got from Stu.
Mm-hmm.
I got that, and Chris came back. Chris there's nobody more dedicated to him, Stu was the same way. When they did something, they did it all out, and good for them, But see all the signs back there?
Beat McKinley.
Yeah.
You see that, Rob? So you're going to have to paint my face this year. Better have a steady hand, buddy.
I was 28 on that.
We did the math because you said tomorrow's my birthday, but that's canceled on account of the Massillon McKinley game.
That was like the only... Yeah.
So we had to go look up what Massillon McKinley game was on November 3rd, and the only one was in 86.
Because across the street's the one that did my face.
84?
That math doesn't add up.
Some girls.
Yeah, 70. Okay, across the street, some girls what?
That's how they painted my face.
Gotcha.
They was at Hilbert's that lived across the street from Stu's.
They got that in the this documentary too, in the greatest blink and you'll miss it moment in cinema history. Your face getting painted, you just look at the camera, shoot them a wink.
Yeah, I seen that shit too.
So, I guess that concludes the BlackSwarm film room. We'll take a quick break. Got a couple questions from the audience specifically for you, Midge, and then get out of here, huh? All right, so just got a couple questions here. First one, we talked about, Rob and I, last week. Your favorite McKinley Week tradition?
Ooh. There was a bunch of them.
Rattle them off.
Puking in the bushes at 2:45 and having somebody knocking on your window at 4:00, and you got to get back up and go back at it again, and them are strictly the home games. And then, getting that 50-pound bag of puppy chow and taking it down to our neighborhood bar and throwing it in there so whoever was walking around, you wasn't too drunk because you'd be slipping, and the people loved it. So, boy.
So I think to help narrow it down for you a little bit, like this question was asked, something you do every year for the McKinley game.
Well, I did that every year for the McKinley game, and the good year was, they said, what are you doing with this bag of dog food? I said, well, we're over at Canton. He says, I'm going to carry it in the stadium. You ain't going to carry it. I said, the hell I am going to carry it in the stadium. So we're starting to walk down. Massillon used to park in the same spot. A lot of people parked in the same spot. Can't remember the name of the road. But they built a couple houses there now. But it used to be for just Massillon Park. And then you walk about 3 blocks and you're at the stadium. Then you got to walk around and all that shit, But I was taking this puppy chow and throwing it to McKinley people when I see them. I just throw it at them. And they're laughing. It was just something that it didn't bother them. And then that kind of went on the wayside. And then, I guess as you get older, you get a little bit lighter. You don't do much stupid shit, but...
Harder to rally from 3 to 4.
I don't do that either. No, that's a killer. Let me see. You try to go home and sleep That never worked. Gosh, I can't even, like, what I do now is, it's, if you can get, like, I get more sleep in a chair on McKinley game than I do in my bed, because you don't need to sleep.
Huh?
But then you don't last past 5 o'clock either, when the game's over. But no, what I do, it's what happens, I guess. I try to go out to eat, after we kick their ass, and
I've never heard it put a better way than of how I live my life. What I do is just what happens.
well,
No plan to it.
yeah, it's we still try to get the Wimpies going, and we're gonna have the Wimpies this year. We're gonna put them in the parking lot, and I don't know how good that's gonna last, but about who can have them, or if you want to buy them. I never sold them before, but
Yeah.
I just know how people like to come over and
Mooch.
act like your best friend. They're a piece of shit anyhow. So, but it's probably the best way to put it. First come, first serve. So you guys ain't far. If you hear me yell at you, you better make the move.
Yeah, we'll be up at our spot having the FW Renner and Son sponsored tailgate. We got Max Julian. He's a big fan of ours. He said, "Hey, I want to sponsor your guys' tailgate." He's buying all the meats and stuff we're smoking. Rob, we were talking about earlier. What's on the menu there, buddy?
It's not finalized yet, but sounds like it's going to be a whole lot of pulled pork. Some like hot dogs and brats and some easier food like that. Probably some chicken wings. I think we're going to acquire a turkey leg or two for
That's
you, just so you can walk around like a Viking Neanderthal with a big ass turkey leg for no reason.
It's a fun look, but turkey legs are good too.
See if they got the neck.
Turkey neck.
Yeah.
So it's a work in progress. I think that's kind of like the main staple of what we're going for. Of course, we're going to have a lot more food than just that. A whole bunch of sides, but it sounds like the main thing we're going to be smoking is probably 3 or 4 pork butts. So, there's 30 pounds of pulled
Good.
pork.
That means if you guys got food going, then people won't want none of these.
Yeah, maybe you can kind of hide the Wimpies for
Yeah,
yourself then. We'll have a lot of food going. Got some refreshments as well. So don't have a finalized menu, but definitely gonna be revolved around a lot of pulled pork. And then if you want like hot dogs or brats or sausages, hopefully doing a bunch of chicken wings because I think that's a fan favorite. I like eating some chicken wings. So and then a whole bunch of sides that people are bringing. So. That's kind of what we have going right now, but still to be determined.
Yeah, so that's it's sponsored tailgate food. It's free to us, so we want to share it with the people. Free to you guys. Come out to our spot, check us out. Big black party bus, hard to miss. OB in the back. Music will be blaring, so it'll be easy to find. Come say hi. Come enjoy some free food.
Yeah, that sounds. You know what? Now you get me going here. I think I'm gonna sell my Wimpies.
Yeah?
Yeah, from like back in '64.
The old Gressers.
35 cents a piece.
35-cent Wimpies?
Yeah.
Exact change only, people. All right.
We accept tips.
So we got a couple questions for you from a couple of the diehard BlackSwarm fans. First one from one of the OG fans, Ted Sizemore. Dad, what is your most memorable personal experiences from the rivalry, be it during the game or leading up to it? Give us 2 or 3 memorable moments.
2 or 3 memorable moments. In the south end zone at Fawcett, me and Steve, went to the game wearing them damn jackets that went floating down the river. But we had a blast. All I can remember was it was like score after score, and it just got so crazy that we had hard hats we never found, gloves. I can't remember. We had a good time.
There's a good shot in that movie of it's a crowd shot.
That was it.
You two are right in the middle there, hugging, waving your hard hats.
That was it. That was one of the memorable ones. I don't know if it's just from seeing that on film or I sure don't remember it. Another?
Yeah, one or two more if you got them.
Oh gosh, there's something happens good every year we kick their ass, and that's what's the fun part of it. And I don't know if I'm getting old or what, but sometimes when you win, and you're up and at it like we start in the mornings, it's nice to go get a steak and go home and go to bed. It's thank God the time changes, I think.
Usually matches up pretty well.
Yeah, they're close. They're usually close, but yeah, I don't. Hell, it goes year to year.
Rob, you got something?
I'm looking up when the time change is, because isn't it usually like on the 21st of a month?
Look it up. I think it's the first week in November this year.
November 6th. Oh, so no, never mind.
Mm-hmm. That's Saturday.
November 6th.
November 6th.
Sunday morning.
Yep.
Early Sunday morning.
Extra hour recovery. Yeah, I mean, like you said, getting after it early. I remember, growing up, every year McKinley game, wake up, get woken up to the stereo blaring something or other, come out and the TVs are muted, but they're on the Beat McKinley high school channel, and you and a couple guys are already up getting after it. And
it's still dark out.
It's still dark. It's still dark for hours.
Yeah.
Have a fire going, food cooking, something. But
yeah, Wimpy's on the stove. It's every year something different. Probably, I don't know. It's like I said, it's go get something to eat and go home. But you stop that trip through downtown. If you can have enough left in you to go to there, that's a good thing. It was one time we beat McKinley, and I think it was like in the early 90s or late 80s. We beat him, we came downtown, and that's when Coach Owens got the job, his first year. And this Coach Owens got the job. We beat McKinley, so we're driving downtown, and we're in a van, and we got the side door open, and we run across one of our old coaches, Bob Cummings.
Uncle Bob.
And we both jumped out. We saw him. He was right in front of Bender's, had a drink in his hand and everything. He was with the Whistler boys, Ronnie and Jerry, the guys that owned the plumbing place.
Gotcha.
And they was all good friends with Bob Cummings. And Stu gets out, jumps out, runs over to him, picks him up in the air. And like, yeah, we love you, Coach. We love you, and puts him back down. And then the next thing we know, that Bob wasn't there no more. Uncle Bob wasn't there no more. And it wasn't until later on we found out, because he wanted to coach at Massillon again. And they picked Owens over him. So he took it hard that like nobody liked him no more in Massillon. And that was like what Ronnie Whistler told me. He said that was one of these moments in his life that he felt so good that he was wanted again. And Uncle Bob, you was always wanted. There ain't nobody better than you. But hey, it was that was a good one. That was right downtown, waiting on the team to show up.
Damn. God. Sitting over here giving me chills. All right. Last question for you. This one's from Max Julian, man sponsoring the tailgate, for FW Renner and Sons. Your favorite game as a fan and your favorite game as a player. Best tailgate story. And he said he loved your story last time about TP and houses.
Let's see. Oh, gosh. I had it to you. You screwed me up when you said TP.
So let's start. Favorite game as a player.
Oh, okay. Favorite game as a player. My senior year. And then that was in 74. And the favorite game as a fan was the year you was born.
94.
94.
100th game.
100th game. It was we was in the stands when Willie pitched that ball and that kid ran that corner of that end zone and scored the winning touchdown. It was like Jeff Beidel. He's calm, mellow, he don't get all up. But boy, he jumped up and down, and the thing he was saying when he jumped on top of me was, that game was better than your game. That game was better than your game. And me, fuck you. But it was good. It was, that was the 70 or the 94. And the 74, it wasn't like, if he was a fan, it would have been better to be there at that game if he was a fan. As a player, you don't get to see all that stuff. It's kind of crazy, but you don't get to see what the fans do. All I remember was, we're throwing our coach in the shower. So we had the equipment guys throw a couple towels over the drain and turn all the showers on, and we filled it up. And it's only going to fill up maybe about 10 inches. And as we're throwing the coach in there, I told the coach, I said, Coach, I says, this is after we beat McKinley, I says, I threw my helmet up in the air, and I don't know where it's at. And then that Monday, when we came to school, that's when we got them shirts. We want to go home. We beat McKinley 2015. I still got that shirt. And that's when the coach looked at me and says, yeah, you picked the right time to tell me you threw that helmet up in the air and you can't find it no more. Yeah, I still got that helmet. In fact, I did throw it up in the air. I threw it to a buddy of mine. His name was Mark Kohler. We called him Pumpkin. And all I get was, like, the next day, my brother calls me up and says, hey, I seen your helmet on top of a guy running down the middle of Lincoln Way last night. I said, what? He said, yeah, this guy was running down Lincoln Way with your helmet on. I said, well, how'd you know that? He says, the guy said, this is Midget's helmet. And that's all I know. But, so, hey, like I said, it's still got it.
Yeah, that's been sitting in the house out in some form or fashion ever since I was growing up.
Yeah.
And the last part of the question, favorite tailgate story.
Boy. Can we classify them?
Yeah.
PGX or triple X?
Oh, God. All three.
Wow. That's damn near every year. It's tough. I don't try to compare them or nothing like that, but it's one that stood out. Probably when we go over there. But the one that really stood out was my fucking nightmare. So that was my bad one. That was. Nah, sorry about that. I can't give no information out no more like that. It's
classified.
Yeah, you never know. My mom's 93 years old. She can be listening to this shit too, so. But no, it was every year something different, it's happy. The games you lose. I don't know if I told you guys last year about this story. In 94, 94, it was the 100th game. And Joe Studer was the offensive coordinator on the team. And he lived down on 20th Street, and I lived on 24th, and Carleen was the road that was between us. So we go to the game, you're up in the morning and stuff, the bushes, all that stuff, and then all of a sudden, the game's over, went into overtime, and Steve calls me up. He says, "Hey, we're at my brother's house." I think I might have said this story before.
Let's hear it again.
We're at my brother's house. He says, "Come on down. Where all the coaches are here and we're gonna party." Well, I'm wore out. So next thing you know, about a half hour later, Stu calls me back and says, "Hey man, come on down." I says, "You know what? All right, I'm coming down." And there was a coach named Wolf. He was a defensive back coach and defensive coordinator. His name was Wolf. And I told Stu, I says, "You tell that fucking Foxy I'm coming down there and I'm kicking his ass for giving up 41 points. And I hung up. I never went down, But he says, this is what Stu told me the next day. As soon as I went over and told Wolfie about you was coming down and kicking your ass for giving up 41 points, he said he left. And I was what the hell, So just moments like that. There's so many different ones, the good ones, the bad ones. The bad ones you don't remember, but you remember the game. But I missed one McKinley game, and I was playing in Dayton. Flag football for the state championship in Dayton. And I got arrangements set up with this guy. He's going to fly me back home in his single-engine airplane. Mm-hmm. And all I had to do was show up at 1 o'clock at this place in Dayton where you can land planes and stuff like this. And it was through somebody else, his wife, on the football team. So it was going to cost me $80. I'll fly back with him to Akron Canton and then go to the game. And it ended up that they moved our games around. So we had a game. Our last game that day, Saturday, was at 2:00.
Oh.
So now it's the same thing. So in between plays on the field, I'd run back and I'd get on my phone. Well, it wasn't my phone. It was Buck's phone. He had a car phone then. And it was calling West End Tavern and getting a score. And the one barmaid, she'd make sure she'd get the score every time I'd call, you know. Her name was Rhonda, but she was a good girl, you know. But it was cool just to know all that, you know. And guess what? Stu didn't go to the football game. He went to McKinley game.
Oh, he missed the flag game.
He missed the flag game. I was so pissed. Why didn't you tell me, you know, because I wanted to go, but what the hell, you know. But, yeah, it was, I think that game was in 79. And if any of you people know anything about the 79 game, it was snowing real bad. A lot of snow. And I think the score was like 29-6. I don't know. You can ask anybody from Canton. I'm sure they might know that score because they got their ass kicked. So, but yeah, these stories are getting older and sorrier, but what the hell?
They're not sorrier. They get better.
I like them. I mean, you remember shit that you didn't remember, you know?
79, Canton came in 7-1-1. Massillon won 24-0.
There it was. Snowstorm. The blizzard.
So, with that, that's all the questions we got.
Good.
Rob, you got anything else?
No, I'm pretty good.
Dad, got anything else you want to say?
What do you guys do for the game? What time you guys get up? What's your Friday night like?
Rob?
All right. Well, normally Friday it's mostly preparing for Saturday. So, I mean, there have been years that I've gone to the parade. There's years that I've driven in the parade. Not as of late, though. I guess I did like 2 years ago. But normally it's getting stuff ready for the next day. So, I mean, this year we're going to try to get a lot of the tailgate stuff set up ahead of time. And then it's just trying to get as much rest as you can, which, I mean, Hank goes to sleep at like 7 o'clock.
I try.
On Friday nights. I can't do it. So I'm usually up pretty much about the same time I normally do, but the idea is to get some rest. But probably getting a bunch of stuff ready this year. The way my work schedule is, it makes it a little bit easier. So should have everything good to go Friday, so won't need anything Saturday. I should have plenty of time to try and get to bed, but I probably won't. And then on Saturday, it depends on when we are going where, but it usually involves me getting up around 4 a.m. and then quickly going wherever we're going. So I'm not sure what that's going to entail this year, but I know we want to be up at the tailgate pretty damn early, so it's probably going to be around that kind of time frame for me again. So we'll see. And then it's just tailgating all morning long. Last year was one of the only years that I ever went out after the McKinley game. And last year I specifically didn't wake up at 4 a.m. It's a huge difference, right? I think I woke up at like 6:37 last year, and that's just enough time to let you pretty much go the rest of the day. You ride that high of a big win and big tailgate and everything. It takes you downtown after the game, and that was really fun. So hoping that I still have enough energy to enjoy all of that this year as well. So that's pretty much what we do. We'll have the tailgate set up in the morning. We got all the food going, got music going, having a good time pretty early. So that's pretty much what we've been doing every year that it's been like an established group of people doing it. So same thing this year.
Yeah. I mean, my tailgates, my McKinley mornings, up until, what was it, 2020, I was still, living at home, so it was pretty much try and get to bed early. But it's, you're like a kid at Christmas. You joke, I go to bed at 7, but I try to be in bed by like, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, but I'm just laying there, like just so jacked up for the game. Next day, don't get to sleep until probably about midnight. Get woken up about 4:30 by Midge blaring some music. Get up and just ride the high the rest of the day. It would, for a while there, it was y'all would come over, get some Wimpies, and I'd just ride with you to the games. We're going down Lincoln Way, heading up to the tailgate spot, or heading over one of the few times it's fun to go east of Kmart before the sun's even up, and just get into whatever tailgate shit we're getting into. But yeah, they're not here for our stories. They're here for yours, Dad.
Well, just don't tell nobody what time. Because I don't know what time they open that up.
I mean, it's open pretty early. I talked about it last week, but probably my favorite tailgate morning as a former player, I think it was a 2014 or 2016 game. We got there real early, before sunup, and we got Rob's speaker hooked up, and we're blaring some Pink Floyd. Just, Shine On is playing. As you could see the team getting there, getting ready to go, and heading out to breakfast, and I get a text from Jar, like about 45 minutes into us being there. Say, you guys playing Floyd? Shine on, brother. Shine on. So, we'll get there nice and early. Food won't be ready, so if you get there early too, you better bring some beverages and something to add to the party. But other than that, anything else?
Glad we're at home.
Yeah. First,
Always better at home.
First real home game since 2018.
Even though, like, last year, driving back from Canton, ain't nothing beats a smile on your face all the way back from Canton. It's just nothing beats that. And gosh, sometimes you just, wish you'd catch all the red lights, Because you see somebody with red or anything like that, they're not around. They're all in their houses and shit, so. But, yeah, go Tigers. Our finest weekend.
Yeah. So with that, I guess we'll call our night. Go Tigers. Beat McKinley.
Go Tigers.